Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen here with Rita Giganti and Linda Armstrong. Today is Friday, July the 10th, 2020, 4 p.m. New York time, and wherever you are in the world, thanks for joining us for another episode of LOA Today, your daily dose of happy. And once again, as I was telling Rita before the podcast today, I'm happy because we finally have both the iPhone and the Android versions of the LOA Today app out in the marketplace, and they are downloadable. So I'm going to start off a few of the shows for a while, just reminding people, please download it. Go if you're on an Android phone, go to the Play Store. If you're on an iPhone, go to the App Store and just search on LOA Today. I'm finding that it's not quite popping up to the top yet, just because we haven't had a whole lot of searches on either phone yet, but as more and more searches happen, it'll pop up to the top. So you may have to scroll down a little bit, but you can find it. It's right there on the list. And then try it out, listen to an episode or two, and if you will, just send me a note, because one of the little links in the app sends an email to me. So let me know what's happening. Let me know what you think of the app, and do you see problems? Are you enjoying it? Give me some feedback so that I know how well we're doing with it. I do have more stuff that I am in the process right now of adding, including Dan Mangena, who does Tuesdays and Thursdays with us, has donated to the app one of his programs. His Beyond Intention program, his audio program, has been donated to the app, and I'm incorporating that. He's also donated to the app a copy of his Beyond Wealth book. So 2 big extra bonuses just for downloading the app, free. And all this is free. None of it costs you anything. So just want to let everybody know, first of all, the good news that the app is out. And second of all, try it, give us some feedback, and see all the good stuff that's coming in very soon. Right now, you can listen to the programs, and probably in the next week or so, we're going to be also updating the app so that the Dan Mangena stuff is in there. But Rita, Linda, I have to say thank you very much. You guys were the ones who gave me the push. You're the ones who said, don't make
You
it.
lit the fire.
Yeah, and it worked. It worked. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Well, I just found the app real easy, as long as you write LOA Today podcast.
Yeah, that'll make a more specific search, makes it come up quicker.
Okay.
I was checking today, and it actually does come up on the list for just LOA Today, but it's lower down on the list. You have to go search for it. But that's going to work its way up as more and more people search and download it. That's not going to be an issue.
Awesome.
So, yeah, good stuff. And you've been experimenting too, Rita. You were telling me before the podcast, you've been experimenting with some heart math.
Yes, the heart math. I was telling Linda that, and you, Walt, that when someone brings something to my attention 3 times, I pay attention to it. So this heart math kept coming up for me, and it's. I says, all right, let me go online and see what it really is about. And it's about the coherence between the heart and the brain, and how to connect them. And it's interesting, because everything we talk about is, we talk about getting into a higher vibration to make things happen, whether you're manifesting or you want to feel good or shift the mood or whatever it is. Well, this is the same thing. It's like they give you, they teach you like 5 different ways to get into the heart and lift the vibration. So you'll be thinking of something, you'll either be grateful for something, or someone or someone. It could even be your animal, or a situation that you were in that you were having a good time and it lifted your spirits. Doesn't matter what it is. They teach you how to get there, and within not even minutes, you can see, because I bought the I guess the app and the thing that you attach to your ear. I don't know what it's called, but you attach it to your ear, and then you put it on your shirt, and it shows you how the heart and the brain connect, and how they're in coherence with each other, how long they're in coherence, how long they're not in. But and it's funny, because when you're put on the spot like that, just think of something or someone that I started racking my brain. I'm like, wait a minute, let me really get to that point where I was, where it's something that really because I really wanted to see the difference,
Right.
Being my dog,
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being the animal. And But sometimes, and I think, for me anyway, babies and animals are the quickest way to get your attention and uplift your spirits because they're innocent, right? So,
Sure.
so I used, that as one of them. Another experience that I had where I felt wonderful. I used that as an experience. So it's starting to really, I feel like potentially can make a difference. And it's used for everything from like anxiety, ADD, people, there's all different reasons why to use it, manifesting, things like that. So I'm
So,
in, and
so
right now they're allowing people on their website, heartmath.com, you could go on there and listen to their videos. You sign up like in a newsletter thing. You can listen to like 10 of their videos, which normally costs like $30 for nothing.
Wow.
And it teaches you all 5 ways to get into that space.
So
Very cool.
is the monitor then just so you have an awareness of what it feels like as you're in that heart brain coherence?
Yes.
Because do you wear it all day long and then kind of just check in where you are? Like, how is it supposed to be used?
So let me show you, just so you have an idea. It's called Inner Balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what it looks like.
And for
Okay.
listeners who are listening to the podcast, she's just holding up her phone and there's like an app that shows a little circle in the middle.
Yeah, it's called Inner Balance. And it automatically, when you plug in your the piece that they give you to your phone, it automatically connects to it. Then you put the other piece to your ear, like you clip it onto your ear, and that's what monitors what's going on. And then you hit this button, it's called, the session button. Once you hit that, it'll tell you follow this colorful thing here to breathe. And then it'll tell you when to think about something, and it prompts you for everything. It's very easy. It prompts you for
So it's
everything.
kind of teaching you how to go into the heart space.
Yes,
Oh,
they're
okay.
teaching you that. And then it shows you, it'll actually, you can use a guided one. They journal it for you. So you can go back and see how long you've been in coherence, how long you've been out of it. It's pretty like amazingly easy. And that's what I'm always looking for. I hate to say it, but I like the easy stuff because I'm more prone to doing it more than if you gave me a 6-hour meditation and told me you got to do this for 6 hours because that's the only way it's going to work. I can't do it. I have to simplify it.
So I wonder how it would be if you were to put it on while you're doing a session for somebody, because I would like to monitor that. Because I know when I'm in a session with someone, my energy is like I can't explain it. I'm like high on this energy,
Right.
expanded, right? I'd like to see
Right.
what the monitor would show then.
How long you're in that coherence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how about monitoring the person on the table
Yeah, that
to
would be
see how long they're in it with you?
yeah,
Now that's cool.
that's cool.
Yeah.
We're getting
So
scientific here.
yeah, well, it's fairly, I want to say it's fairly reasonably priced. And for that, plus the fact that it's easy, I'm like, this is a no-brainer.
Easy is good too, by the way. I
Right?
always like easier is so much more fun, I think, because you're not having to struggle. I mean, not that there's
Right.
anything wrong with struggling because there's a lot of growth that comes out of struggle, but
That. Wait,
that's struggle.
cancel that. Get rid of that. We don't want to be there anymore. There's a lot of growth comes out of struggle. What about a lot of growth comes out of joy?
There's
Like
that
when I
too.
hear that come up, I'm like, let's cut the cord on that one.
Oh boy. Watch out, Walt.
Night one.
He's coming after me with a letter opener. Oh my goodness.
Holy.
Is really see how we can like slip back to that? Because why do we have to go through struggle? That's just some falseness that we've taken on.
Right.
And I do not care to own that anymore.
Well, I think
I'm glad you said that because it gives an opportunity for people to see that they can choose to grow through struggle or not, to grow through ease. Simple.
Easy is so much fun. Yeah.
You mentioned simple. I just did a video on that. To me, that's the biggest message that I got is just keep it simple. Like, why do things have to be complicated?
Yeah.
right.
Everything's simple when you just follow this, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
When, now,
That
when you're
excitement.
doing this stuff, Rita, when you're actually connected up and monitoring and so forth, have you been able to kind of identify where your tipping point is? At one point you're not in coherence, and at the next point you are in coherence. Have you been able to figure that out yet?
That's, that's interesting. See what happens with me is I automatically close my eyes when I want to do it. So I'm hardly looking at this thing until the end. So I have to start doing it with my eyes open to notice that. But I would imagine when my mind wanders, maybe, and I'm not thinking about, maybe I'm, thinking about something that's not that great. I'm not in coherence then. So I still haven't figured that out because I just have a tendency, because when you're used to meditating,
Yeah,
you
sure.
have a tendency to close your eyes, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, so I have to, I
Because
have
I
to,
would think also that there's a tendency, the higher that your vibe gets, the more excited that you get. The
yes,
higher. I would imagine there's like a threshold that you reach, and all of a
right.
sudden it kicks in. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I've never looked at it.
Yeah. I guess the ultimate goal is to be in that coherence as much as possible. Like 98% of the time out of the day. That would be great to be in that heart, brain coherence.
You know what? I
Uh,
saw a clip from Greg Braden. I don't know how old it is, but he does a lot with heart math as well, right? And he was saying, really, you ever want to know the truth about something? You just tap, you just tap on your heart, like the thymus there, which used to be a very intuitive center of ours, but we kind of grow out of it in puberty. So like that's why I like doing the energy pulling I'm doing, because you're having the energy flow through the heart. So basically, if you watch it, it's like a 5-minute tip clip. Maybe if I find it, I can link it in underneath the YouTube show. But he's like, you just connect to your heart. I'm like, okay, is this true for me?
well, they have you breathe through your heart. What happened to Walt?
We lost Walt. That's okay. We're still live and we're on YouTube.
Linda, it says you're the host now.
Oh, okay. Maybe something happened. He made me the host. So that's good. We're
Uh,
just gonna keep going. Go ahead.
Mercury. So they actually, which is very different for me as well, because when I'm meditating, I breathe, I belly breathe, right? To get myself into that place. But now they're actually, breathe through the heart and see what it feels like to breathe through the heart. I like it because then I can see almost, it's almost like a silhouette of pink around it, and it's very sparkly, like, and if I'm breathing in and out like that, it again, it expands the energy, expands
Yeah.
the heart, the brain, all of it. So it's interesting that yeah.
Yeah.
So you do that like before a session?
Um, Not necessarily, but I do that like definitely every morning in the shower. I do it before I go to bed. Whenever I think about it, I just make that connection because I'm just pulling in energy. By the way, Walt had a brief power outage, so he'll be right back.
Okay.
He texted me. Because you can pull energy, those things you want to you want to actualize in your life, that you want to be your truth.
Right.
Just pull energy, because everything's energy. You ever feel really low on energy and you need a little boost? Just start pulling energy from the universe to fill you with energy, and
Right.
basically just pulling through the head, through the feet, through the hands, and having it flow all up and down and through the heart.
Right.
It's really activating that center once again. By utilizing it, you're activating it more and becomes more prevalent, because it's another intuitive center, like the third eye, right?
Yep.
So it's like heart and brain, third eye and
Right.
thymus. Yeah, so sometimes I'll do it before a session, but it just kind of happens naturally when I get into that energy mode. It
Yeah.
just comes up. That's why it'd be really cool to play with that monitor and see
Oh my God, you would love it. I love to see like the outcome, and every time I do it, it's like, wow, that's cool. Yeah. And honestly, I didn't think I was on some of the things. I didn't think I was in that coherence as much as I was, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, if nothing else, it brings a sense of, calm and peace and upliftment to the energy. There he is.
He's coming back.
That was
Oh boy,
crazy.
Mercury kicking ass.
It is stormy in our neck of the woods, right?
But
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
it's
stormy
fun.
here. That's the thing that got me. There's no storm going on here.
Oh really?
Really?
Ah,
Yeah, I could see all the stars and the.
Nothing happening out there.
Yeah, all of a sudden it said that Linda was the host for the room.
So are you actually, has it been showing live all this time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if anybody else was seeing this, but we were seeing each other.
Recording and live. It's going.
It's still going?
Not yet. We're still live and recording. As far as I know, Walt, what are you doing? Don't mess with anything.
Yeah. Well, I gotta mess with some of it because I have to make sure that the recording is actually working, because I record locally on this thing. I mean, it goes to YouTube, but it also records locally. So
Okay.
I think it's all going, but
it never quit. So maybe because we're on there, and
It says up here on the left here, top left, that it's live on YouTube and
yeah,
recording.
and I'm getting that too. I just put up the recording thing. So,
I
all
guess
right, well,
you could have had, you must have listed me as a co-host through Zoom originally. So maybe that's why it popped over and you didn't lose it. We didn't lose it.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I don't know. That's quite possible. So, well, anyway, catch me up. Where were we?
We were just
Yeah, no, we were just, yeah, we were talking about the heart math.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, well, the heart math is definitely cool stuff. In fact, you got me half convinced maybe I should try, getting their package and seeing what it's like. Although I'm also curious just to hear what your reports are over time, because I presume you're going to be doing this for a while. So make it like a
No,
week.
I just started. It's only been, a week. So
Yeah.
And you can, it's interesting because I actually called somebody to talk to them about it, and they were saying that even if you did it for 10 minutes a day, you're going to get into coherence. Like it takes like 6 weeks. If you did it every day for 6 weeks, for 10 minutes, you would see a major difference.
Okay.
They said. So listen, I can't put myself on that type of thing. It's like, if I do that, then it'll be like, then if I don't do it one day, I'll be pissed. So I don't even go there. I'm just like, I just say to myself,
So
do it.
is the purpose then just to train people how to be in that coherence naturally throughout
Yes.
the day?
Yes. And they say you start to be in that coherence even as you're having conversations with people. Even if you're in a situation where you feel uncomfortable, all of a sudden you feel differently. Like you don't feel like you normally would. You wouldn't get pissed off, and you just react. It's like going into the subconscious and retraining yourself.
Right. So I mean, I know you said you're listening stuff. So are they doing some kind of program, some kind of processes where they're pulling out blocks?
You can, right now, I was just being guided, the breathing piece and how to think and all of that. But on the app here, it seems like, hang on, let me get there. It seems like they have guided ones. Guides that you can, tap into. Ones for reducing stress. So it's all seems to be on this little thing here that I ordered. And so this is like, then you can go into the heart cloud, like the iCloud, because that's all we needed was another friggin' cloud.
Yeah, another cloud, right?
That I don't know how to get to. And the heart cloud tells you, what happened in your latest sessions.
Okay.
You can go back and refer to them to see how you've been doing.
So you actually have to go to the cloud to find out what the record is. You can't really find it directly through the app.
The cloud is on the app.
Oh, that's direct connected. Okay.
Thank God.
You make it easier, right?
Yes, I can.
So what have you seen from your own sessions? I mean, are you seeing like how often you're in coherence, or what are you seeing?
Yes, it shows you, like, just take my last one. I was in high coherence 56% of the time.
Okay.
Medium coherence 31% of the time. So that's, you're not low, but you're not high. And low 13% of the time. So
what is that? What does that mean, medium coherence? What do they mean by that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's like I think you're not fully like connected heart brain, but you're almost there, but you're not fully there. I
'Cause
haven't gotten that far yet.
Because coherence in terms of an oscilloscope, as I understand it, is just a nice clean sine wave, as opposed to something that's kind of, all over the place crazy, like, you're in high stress or something like that.
So I guess it must be somewhere in between.
It must be. I just don't know what that looks like.
It's on its way to coherence, and
Yeah.
monitor.
Yeah, and that, like I said, I haven't gotten that far with it yet. All I can tell you, like here, they even give you tips. The best way to shift into coherent state is to use the heart focused breathing. On that free thing that they give you with those 10 videos,
Hmm.
they tell you 5 different ways they teach you to get into it.
Oh, okay.
So you're getting all of that in the beginning. So yeah, and then there's other, like you can get one for the computer, you can get, if you like have a business that you're going to use it and all that.
Hmm.
Um, there's other ones, but this was, like I said, $120. I was like,
Yeah.
it's very reasonable and very simple. So, I would like everybody to at least go on the website and check out the videos to see if it's something that resonates with you. If you didn't lose anything because you didn't have to pay for the videos,
Hmm. Sure.
if it doesn't. So that in itself was worth it. And the
And I'm
videos
looking.
are like 8, 9, 10 minutes long.
Hmm.
They're short and sweet.
And I'm looking forward to what you're going to be telling us in the weeks ahead, because I'm pretty sure you're going to want to stick with this, and you're going to tell us like what's been happening and
Oh yeah,
what kinds of
definitely.
results you've been getting.
Definitely. Especially if someone tries to piss me off and I don't get pissed off.
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
that?
And then I know I'm in the coherence, connection there. I'd be like, all right,
This is
this
good stuff.
works. Well, I'll tell you, with what's been for me, with what's been going on around, like between everything, I don't listen to the news. So, but everybody knows what's going on because if I don't hear it from the news, I hear it from somebody.
Sure.
Um, because I'm an empath, I have physical reactions to things, and I need to. That maybe Linda, maybe Walt, you would even understand this. I don't have any Earth in my chart.
Hmm.
My astrological chart.
Hmm.
I have no Earth, so I am constant. I'm an air sign, and I'm constantly out of my body, so to speak. So I have to constantly do things to ground myself. So when stuff like this is happening around the earth, I'd be picking it up all day long if I didn't ground it out and have that sense of balance. Um,
Well, I've got
so
lots of earth in mine, so have some if you like. Take some of mine.
ah, yeah, and it's funny because Bobby has all the earth.
Oh,
My wife
really?
has all earth, and she grounds me, and I
Oh, well,
lift
there you
her
go.
for the
Yeah,
spirit world. So
that's good.
I'm constantly outside weeding or putting rocks in my pocket or something, to keep me on the ground.
Good for you.
But Linda, I was sharing with Linda because I missed last week. I totally out of it. Had stuff going on with family, but I was feeling all this stuff physically. It came to a head for me,
Yeah.
and I just had to take some downtime and figure out a way to work through it. So I'm starting to do that. Starting to do that now. I bought a bicycle.
Really?
I did. And no, you can't find a bicycle, just so you know.
You're kidding?
I, through the grace of God, found a bicycle. You cannot. I walked into Kmart. I mean, the shelves are empty. Online costs you a fortune to get a bicycle. I went to the place in Westwood. They said, "Yeah, we have bicycles, $4,000 and up."
Oh, geez.
I could get a small car for $4,000. What are you kidding me? $4,000. I said, "I'm riding up the block." He says, "Sorry, I don't have that inventory. They're gone. You can't find them." He
Take a
was
trip
right.
up to Connecticut. We got them a lot cheaper here. You can get them for like 500, $700, maybe $1,000.
Oh no, I found one for 275 in Dumont,
Ooh.
not far from where I live here. Dumont, and I got 2 of them for 275 a piece. And I said, well, one for Bobby. I don't know. It'll be me. I've been out and about already,
Hmm.
and that helps me ground.
Good.
Is it because it's just something for maybe kids to do that can't do what they might normally do with the different
You
activities?
can't find a pool and you can't find bicycles. You can't buy a pool. Like an above ground pool, forget it. Because I guess everybody figured they're not going anywhere
Apparently.
and they're putting pools in their backyard. And I guess kids, yeah, because now they have to be outside. They can't, like they have to be doing something.
Yeah, and
Right.
I was at my karate school yesterday, and outside it was swarming with kids on bikes.
Really?
Wow.
I guess they have
That's great.
to do so. They're just out there on their bikes and stopping and whatever here and there.
That's good to see, though. It's funny. I've been getting a lot of readings with people that are having issues. This is so apropos, having issues grounding, like ones that are empaths like me, and they're calling me to find out how can they do it. And I'm saying, I'm struggling myself here, but let me tell you what I've been doing, Yeah. So it's overwhelming. The energy overwhelming, but you just have to find ways that work for you, And I'm all about simplify.
It's interesting you're mentioning all this because I have noticed for myself within, oh, geez, I don't know, the last 3 to 6 months or so that, and I attribute this to the work I've been doing just by doing the podcast and plus my own personal work that I do. But just by doing it 5 days a week with all the different co hosts, I pick up all kinds of stuff. And that combined with my mirror work and I've got a new kind of energy work I'm doing and so forth. I've gotten to the point now where stuff that used to bug me, I still feel it, but
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
happened
matter as
recently.
much.
Yes.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, I still run into some things that matter a lot to me, but very rarely, and most often I'm sitting back saying, I used to get really upset about that. What's changed here? I guess I changed.
Yeah, but
Perception,
I think
right?
that's all about going within, which is what has happened along this whole entire time. It's like not giving into whatever's out there, because whatever's out there is out there. It's not within
Right.
you. So why do you don't have to be the effect of it because it's not yours.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
to move out of this place of judgment for how other people want to do things, when you can let go of that, then you can live more in that heart space. You don't have to
Right.
be
There you go.
all
Yeah.
the time.
There you go.
And it's really reassuring to know that it's kind of like getting physical evidence that all the work I've been doing doesn't just feel good, that it's actually producing something.
Right.
You know?
Yes, you can see the actual physical effects of it
Right. Yeah.
that it's having. Yeah. Which, we're human and we like that tangible shit. It's
Of
like,
course we do. Yeah.
yeah.
But you know what? I think I'll add to that in that it just goes to prove that this whole planet is going through this shift and the vibration is rising and our vibration is rising with it. So if we're rising into a higher vibe, then we don't necessarily need to be pulled back down, do we? No, because we've shifted, we've changed tracks. We're going somewhere different now. We don't have to keep buying that old story. So like sometimes when it pops up, rather than get triggered by it, you can be like, oh, well, that's an old story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I don't have to live that anymore because I choose this. This feels better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is how it's been playing out. It's been playing out that, like you say, it's like an old story that comes back, and I recognize it, and I know it. I mean, I've played that little role over and over again for many, many years, and now the role doesn't seem interesting. It used to be I'd get all fired up about it. Now it's like, well, so what? No big deal.
You start to realize that, at least I do anyway, that's just drama.
Well, yeah.
That's just living in the drama of something. And you get to the point, if you've experienced enough things like we all have energetically, you get to the point where you're like, I don't need this drama anymore.
Right.
And then, and also I'm having a lot of people connect to me that say all these people are dropping out of their lives. And I understand that. Like I understand about cleaning house, because when your vibration goes up, you don't connect necessarily to the same people that you used to, because you're not at the same vibration anymore, right? So it's not a bad thing. It's just you kind of disconnect from that, and you you connect to others that suit your vibration more. It's not a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing. We were talking about that on yesterday's show, actually. And
Oh,
I went on
okay.
for a few minutes about how I love the fact. I mean, I rarely in my life had more than a handful of people who were true friends. I mean, people I
Right.
knew, yeah, people I knew for a long time, that sort of thing. But I could count on one hand the number I really counted as a true friend. Well, all of those people from my past, not all of them, nearly all of them have left my life. I have new people in my life now, largely through the podcast. And I feel like I have more good friends than I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that's a great feeling.
Oh my God, it's a
Out with the
miracle,
bad, in
right?
with the good.
You
It
know,
I
was good
like it.
before, but now it's like,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
feel like what we're talking about right now is an example of moving out of that third D into the fourth dimension, the next dimension, going towards, and it's not all going to happen all at once. People are
right.
moving in and out of it,
Hmm.
into it. And it's like when you have a taste of that, or you start to live in this higher vibration, and then you see those things, you can go back into the drama and trauma, or you can just stay in the higher vibe. But noticing it, I think, is the first part of realize, because I've been seeing a lot of that too, where you can totally see some people are just stuck where they are and they're not ready to move out of it.
Right.
Right.
Other people are moving maybe a little bit in, a little bit out. And when you can feel yourself totally in this new space, like where it feels like a whole new world. I don't know if my words can explain that enough, but I've been feeling this a lot energetically.
Yeah.
And really feeling that shift into these new places, and hearing a lot of stories people are talking about where it's like so evident. I mean, even I was talking to, there's some sirens, sorry. I gave one of my older Italian aunts a healing session like a couple of days ago. And even the conversation I was able to have with her, I would have never been able to have with her years ago. We were talking about all kinds of stuff, aliens, all kinds of things.
Wow.
New dimension. I mean, I was talking to her about some of the stuff I talked to a lot of people about, but I wouldn't think she would necessarily be there. But I'm giving her a session, and we were just going, and she's like, "Oh yes, I've often wondered about that." And, like I was like, "All right, this is cool. This is cool." Because even my mom talk about these things and they're not like afraid. Whereas you maybe a couple of years ago, if you said stuff like this, people would think, first of all, you're out of your mind, and they would maybe be afraid of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it goes against your religion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're very Catholic, and like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. But you can notice that more and more. Like you'll just see it. Even people you're just witnessing, looking, because I don't know why, but I've been very cued into this and noticing these little shifts. And it's fun.
I've noticed it in terms of people. My way of saying it is, it seems like people are more real now. Like for the longest time, there was a lot of fake facade stuff, and a lot of that has melted away. There's still some of it there, but a lot of people have just kind of tossed it aside, probably not even knowing that they're doing it, just because it's so much more interesting just to be a real human being.
Right. And I'm going to say one more time, that's just us getting back to who we really are. That's like going within peace. That's like claiming your truth kind of thing, where you don't have to be like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Do it like everybody else. I don't care how many gurus say this is how it's done. Like, well, maybe for you, but not for me.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's why, there's a lot of teachers and mentors and counselors and all kinds on this earth, because not everybody resonates with everybody else. So, I've had people go crazy for Dr. Joe, and I love him. I think his work is great. I just can't listen to his meditations. This just doesn't agree, and
I've had the same reaction, by the way.
You did?
I do have that same reaction. And part of it, there's a phrase, I don't remember what the phrase is, but there's a phrase that he uses about every 3 minutes. It's something like, "Are you with me?"
Right.
And it just drives me nuts. It's almost like Chinese water torture. When's the next time he's going to say it?
Yeah, right. I know what you mean. Yeah. So, but that's why there's so many different healers and, mentors and people that are doing this work now, and somebody's going to resonate with you. That's why there's enough to go around for everybody,
Mm,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, so we're navigating just like the rest of the world is navigating through this time, unprecedented time that we probably never thought we'd experience, but here it is. And so
And we're
it's
all at different levels of consciousness is what it comes down to, because some people
it's
are
beautiful.
unaware and unawake, which means they're not opening their awareness or their consciousness to
Right.
include more. They're still kind of stuck in that old
Paradigm.
third dimensional
Yeah.
struggle, and you have to
And
overcome it, and you have to, it's got to be hard work to get anywhere.
yeah, I mean, listen,
Right?
you know, we didn't in that third dimension, what we were learning was, okay, we're separated, right? We're separated here in this third dimension. We have duality, right? Well, we're learning that we don't have to have that in the fourth and the fifth. We don't have to have separation. We don't have to have duality. But that stuff came as gifts to us. We wouldn't be able to get here if we didn't have the duality and the separateness. We
Right.
would never know the difference.
And some of us are ready to go, and some of us still need more.
That's it.
That's the
And
way
we
it
have to
is.
accept, where everybody is, even, and I know the hardest thing for people is family. Well, I want them to understand, right? Don't you want them to understand and have that same experience and love in life? I mean, it's, not happening.
Yeah. But
Not
then
happening.
want to surprise you, and you're like, oh wow, they're shifting. People, I can only look to like my older Italian relatives who would never be
Right.
in a certain way, and that now they're like open to it, and like some of the things I say make sense to them. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how you know, in my opinion, that's how you know consciousness in itself is changing. Because they can hear something that they couldn't hear. I don't know what happened to me.
Yeah,
They can hear something that they could not hear before. Why? Because the consciousness itself is lifting all of us. Whether you want to know it or not or believe it, it's happening.
Yep.
So you can
I like
fight
the way
it.
it's happening too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
happening in a way that's very, I hesitate to say calm because it almost sends the wrong message, but it is calm. It's been a very gentle transition. There's been a
Like
lot of
subtle.
craziness that's gone on, but the actual change in consciousness has been gentle.
Yeah.
Well, look at your hand motions. It's with the flow rather than
With the flow, right? Yeah.
rather than kicking and screaming, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
is
we
really
could have
odd
never done
because,
it any other way, because it would have created bedlam here. You
well,
know
sure,
what I mean?
but it just struck me as odd because people, like we've talked about many times, a lot of people don't even know this stuff.
Right.
The vast majority of people around the world haven't even heard of it. If they have heard of it, like you guys were talking about, they were rejecting it, making fun of it, whatever. And yet they're still experiencing that same gentle transition of improvement
Right.
without perhaps even knowing that they're experiencing it. It's not like they've ever consciously noticed it, but it's there. They're feeling it.
Right. It's
Yeah.
hard not to.
Yeah.
It's hard not to. There's so many people now connecting, and it's funny because now I'm thinking about it. It's like that coherence, like we're all getting into coherence with each other. That's another thing they teach you in that it's once you've connected to your own heart, then bring it out to your home and connect your home to it, bring it out to your family members, to your animals, then to your where you live. Let's just say the town you live in. Then you go out to the country, and then you go out, and you just, and it just reverberates, right? As you do it. It just keeps going.
It's interesting too. I think there is an actual connection here between the growing consciousness planet-wide and the coronavirus. And I say that because when the virus came into public awareness in a big way and started really wreaking havoc in Italy and then throughout Europe, and then it came over here and it started wreaking havoc here and so forth, everybody was in quarantine or semi-quarantine, and a lot of fear, huge amounts of fear. I mean, it was palpable. It was practically covering us like a blanket. You could taste it, you could touch it. And then as things have settled down a little bit, interestingly enough, we're still going through spikes here in the US, but the overall energy has settled down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like partly that perhaps people are kind of getting used to the fact that it's there.
Right.
But I think there's this other factor going on. It's almost like you had to go into a big place of fear in order to start feeling good again.
Mm.
And that's what I'm experiencing. Every time I'm going out, like we go to the store, right? And that's where you tend to see the most. That's where I tend to see the most fear, the most anger, the
Right.
anguish, all that kind of stuff. You know, the masks and the people huddled around themselves and all that kind of stuff. Even with all the masks on, you can see they're opening up behind them. You can see the
Right.
crinkling of the eyelids. You can hear the voices. You can't see them talking, but you can hear the friendliness in the voices. And the
Right.
friendliness is at a level that was not there before. It's a higher level of friendliness.
Right. Right.
The overall energy has settled into a calmer energy instead of a fear-driven, scared, oh my God, we're going to collapse as a civilization energy in the midst of craziness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, that's a huge sign of this overall energy conscious raising that we're talking about happening in the midst of everybody without most people recognizing that it's happening.
Yeah. Do you see that when you go out, Linda?
You know, not so much really, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Not really. I only encountered like one person that was so stuck in how real the virus is, at least to them. Because I guess I don't live in. I'm not giving this virus maybe. I don't know if it's that negative validation or what it is, but I'm just not feeding the fear at all. So when I don't feed the fear, I'm not seeing the fear. I'm not really seeing it. I mean, I'll go to stores and different things. I'm finding people are friendly and having a good time, mask on or not,
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I only ran into one person that was so stuck in the story of the virus, and she was a cashier person.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you seeing that also at the peak here in the US, the peak being like April, May?
I never got sucked into the fear of it. It just didn't hit me that way.
Oh, no, I'm not saying getting sucked into it. I mean, seeing other people reacting that way.
So that's why I'm saying I don't watch the news. So wherever I went, I didn't
You didn't even notice it at all. Wow.
Energy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
People were like, okay, we got to stay 6 feet apart. And then they're in line 6 feet apart. Like I didn't see any of that.
Interesting. Okay. Just goes to show how important perspective really is, and
well, because maybe because it is energy, right? So instead of going into fear, I'm just holding light, right? So I just got to walk around being who I am, and not who maybe whatever this whole thing is trying to have us be, which I feel is, I mean, how do you control the masses? Put them into fear.
Right.
So, I'm just not granting that the beingness. And there's been not that there hasn't been horrible things going on, but it didn't enter my world, and it doesn't have to enter anybody's world unless they actually allow it. Because we do choose. I mean, it gets back to the whole thing. Everything we live, we've chosen.
This is true.
Or we wouldn't have it. Even the things we think we would never choose. We've chosen it.
That's it.
It's exactly what happens. And this, I mean, to me, it's been fascinating to watch how the energy has kind of shifted around with people. It's also interesting, though, to hear your story about how you didn't even notice it, probably because you were on such a high vibe, it just never even got through.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we can say that that's what that is. I don't really know, but all I know is I didn't see any chaos of any sort anywhere I've gone.
Yeah, not so much chaos. It was subtle. There was not.
See it. I just didn't see it.
Yeah, there wasn't any
room, but it didn't come where I could see it because
it was more like in body language of people. I think that's where I was most noticing it. Like in April and May, I would see, people would be in the grocery store. That's like the typical place to look at this stuff, right? So they're working their way down the aisle, and somebody else gets close, and oh my God, are they going to get within 6 feet? And you could just see them cringing, like trying to climb into a corner. And
actually,
now we don't even notice it anymore.
I did have one experience like that in the beginning, where this woman was with her back against the wall.
Yeah.
Walked through. Yeah. But it didn't.
I was seeing it a lot.
You could, I guess that's fine. She could be that way.
I didn't realize there. I didn't realize at one point that when they put the, the arrows down the aisles
Right.
to show you where you could go up and down. Well, I went down the wrong fucking aisle, of course. And I had this person look at me like I committed a crime.
Yeah.
It was only me and that person in the aisle, and I'm like, what's happening? I thought to myself, what's that? Because I had no idea why I got the look, And then I realized, I realized when I looked down, I'm like, shit, I came up the wrong way. And I thought to myself, really? That's what this was about? Come on, I don't. And I'm so mindful, like to keep distant, not even because I know the stress that's out there. So I'm always mindful not to create any kind of, but I created stress for this person so bad. I was like, oh God, all right. So then now I am so mindful of those freaking arrows. Yeah.
That's funny.
I've gone the wrong way on the arrows, but I didn't feel any resentment for it.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because every time we've been in the store, I can't recall any time where we've been on an aisle where there was more than one other person on the aisle. So
Right.
it's never an issue. It just doesn't even come up.
Yeah, it was only me and one other person, and it was not good.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I laughed about it afterwards, but I had no idea what I did. I just thought maybe he was pissed at the world, and I got the look.
Ultimately, I think he was.
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, he's pissed at the world, and I just got the look. He was like,
exactly. You just you happen to be in the way more than anything.
Right,
else.
right.
Maybe,
exactly.
Maybe you did him a favor so he could express that and get it out of him.
Yeah, I just said, in my head, I just said, I hope you have a better day.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
That's something Linda's been encouraging me to do for the last couple of years, and I've been doing it more and more. And can't say I always know what the result is. As you talked about, Linda, you never really know what's going to happen. But there's sometimes I can see the result, and that's cool.
You're talking about sending out the love.
Sending out the love, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to see it, but you're right. You don't always see it. And honestly, how it affects them is up to them.
True.
So.
Yeah, we really don't have any control over how they're going to receive it or if they're going to receive it. It's up to them. Yeah.
But you feel good because you sent it with an open heart.
Right.
Right. And then when you cannot judge them for taking it or not taking it, because that's the whole thing. We got to move out of that judgment piece. It's like
that's here. Even better.
It's here.
Right.
I've actually found it's a way of letting go of stuff just by, okay, I'm not really happy about what that person was saying or doing, but I'm just going to put some love out there. And it just kind of brings me into a calmer space just by doing that.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So a good experiment would be if you are in some kind of a heated kind of confrontation or where some people weren't agreeing or whatever, where maybe in the old days, I know in the old days, my old days, I'd be like getting in their face and like, what? But now it would be a fun experiment if you find anyone listening where you're in this kind of a little bit of energy, like somebody not getting you or almost an argument or an argument. What if you were to stop for a second and just decide to go in your heart and send them love and see what happens
to the situation?
Experiment. See if it just take the steam out of it, because you're not engaging in that angry energy, and instead you're like, okay, we could just scream at each other all day, or I can just send love and see what happens.
And actually, I find you get a fairly quick reaction of some kind, simply because, well, first of all, I don't tend to, I can remember one time, and I actually talked about it on the podcast, one time in the last 3 to 6 months where I got angry enough that I was actually in a confrontation with somebody. That alone is a major thing, just having had it happen just once in 6 months.
Right.
But beyond that, on those occasions where I find, and there aren't many of them anymore, I mean, I can count them on one hand, on those occasions where somebody is trying to, engage me in that kind of a struggle, all I have to do is just try to put some love to that person and not engage, and the whole thing comes to a stop really fast.
Mm.
Think about it. It has to, because we're feeding that same energy back to it.
Yeah. It's like the game that Louise used to teach her clients when she was a therapist. She was a psychotherapist for 10 years. And she would, they'd be sitting on a couch, right? So she'd pick up a pillow from the couch and toss it to the client. She'd say, now toss it back to me. And they toss it back to her. She'd catch it, toss it to him again. They'd catch it, toss it back to her, and she'd let it fall to the ground. And she'd say, see, and if I don't engage in the game ends.
Right.
Stop engaging in the game.
Yep.
And they would say, oh, I never thought about it that way. But
That's
if you
good.
stop playing the game, the energy has to shift. It can't do anything else.
Right.
So if we stop playing the game of you only grow through struggle and drama and trauma,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we can create.
Well, listen, I can't say that hasn't served me in the past. Through all the shit that I've been through as a kid growing up, it definitely has served to make me who I am today.
Absolutely.
But I don't feel like I need to keep doing that.
Right.
You know, you get to a point
It's over.
where that story's done. New stories. You know what I mean?
The value of the struggle idea is if you are in a bad place in so many different ways, it's good to understand that you're going to do a little struggling, and struggling will help you get out, and you're going to be so much more powerful out of it and so much stronger.
It's really what you do with the struggle. It's what you do with it. Yeah. Absolutely.
And how about just having gratitude for the fact that you know what that is? That's now you can do something different. It's like, well, I could live there or not.
Sure.
And once you get through the hard thing, then being able to say, boy, I'm glad I don't have to do that kind of struggling anymore. That's a good thing.
But people sometimes, when they want to be victims, they hold on to that struggle. Yeah. And they say, look, poor me. Mm-hmm. I'm struggling. This, I'm that. And they make it very personal. And it's not,
Well, and maybe in a lot of cases, that's the only way they could ever receive some kind of compassion from somebody.
That's
in their minds anyway.
To stay there in order to get the compassion,
right,
or the love, and
right, like what children do when they want attention,
right?
They want even if it's negative, it doesn't matter. They're getting it.
Again, that's where it's fun though to play the little energy shift game. Give them the energy if they're in some sort of a confrontation with you, because that can be a situation where all of a sudden they get a positive response they weren't expecting without you saying anything.
Right.
You didn't actually say anything, but all of a sudden it became a different experience. And no longer did they feel like, for at least one moment in time, they didn't feel like they had to get into a victim place in order to get their energy.
Right.
That's a shock.
Well, I see the cards are being pulled out.
Uh-oh.
I thought, why not pull the answer is simple?
Okay. Well, yeah, especially considering the context. Yeah.
All right.
Simplicity. Here we go.
Let's see what comes up.
All right.
I have to get the glasses. Oh, this one says reach out. I'll show you the card.
That's what we were just talking about.
Reach out.
Let's see what she wants to say about that. This is Sonia Choquette.
I like her.
Yeah. She has real nice energy.
Yeah, she does. You can tell.
Just from her cards.
Okay, so the answer is simple. Reach out. It said it's the time to open your heart and arms and touch others with your spirit. Your ego is putting up a defensive shield, having you believe that there are enemy forces out there from which you must be protected and withdraw. Your spirit, however, knows that there's no them, in quotes, to defend against. There's just us, in quotes, beautiful souls needing to be loved, and right now needing your love. Examine your body posture. Are your arms folded tight against your chest? Do you turn your body and your eyes away from those? Hold on. Do you turn your body and eyes from those around you? Are you holding yourself away from others, afraid to connect and be part of their lives? Are you not allowing others to become a part of yours? Your spirit wants you to connect with others now. Unfold your arms towards those all around you and reach out. Your love and healing forces are needed. Trust yourself to make a difference and connect. Wow, if that isn't perfect.
It's right? Absolutely.
Oh my God.
I mean, there are listeners now tuning in for the first time who are saying, oh, Linda just went and she spot picked that card out of the deck.
You guys saw me shuffling it. All right.
We believe you.
I mean, really, because a lot of people are withdrawing, right? And they're hiding behind their shield and all those different things, when all we need to do is really reach out.
That's it.
Well,
Good one, Linda.
all right.
Perfect.
I guess that wraps it up.
That wraps it up, exactly.
One card and it's done. I mean, holy cow.
And I almost went for another deck, but this one said, no, pick me. Keep it simple.
Ah, look at that.
Apparently, it had a very good reason for that, because that card was just, it was
Spot
exactly
on.
what we were just talking about. I mean,
Perfect.
to the word, reach out. I mean, it was, it couldn't
So
have been
you know what I
closer.
think we should, I think this week we should do what we're saying. Give the energy to someone or a situation, see if we get it, you know, the change, and then come back and talk about it next week, and urge the people that are listening to do the same thing. And maybe we can do a sharing next week on what we've experienced. I mean, if nothing else, we're putting out love.
Right.
We're all putting out love into the universe.
Right. And if they can connect on the next show, they can always send Walt their experience to be shared.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you have an experience to share, send me an email. You use the app, download the app. The
I'm
app
doing
is
it.
available.
I'm doing it.
I got it right here. Look.
There it is.
Yay!
She's got it on her phone.
All right.
Download the app, and yeah, there's a little they call it a hamburger icon. It's 3 little lines at the top, and if you touch that one, you get all the different options. And one of the options is to send me an email. So by all means, send me an email. Tell me what the result is of the little
I'll show you the options.
There they are. There's the options on the screen for people who are watching on YouTube.
Yep. I'm doing it.
Swipe to close. I think he thought of everything.
I wrote this thing the way I want an app to work.
Well,
I wanted it to be as simple as humanly possible to use.
Yep. There you go.
You know, so, and that's something else I want feedback on too. Anybody who feels inclined to do so, once you try out the app, if there's any feedback you want to give me, send me the feedback. I want to know, is there something I can do to improve it? Is there something, or is it just tell me that you like it? I mean, just give me any kind of feedback, but tell me what it is that you want to tell me, because it all helps. Awesome. And by the way, this is still in development. I mean, this is like version 1. There's going to be like version 1.1 coming out very shortly. That's going to have Dan Mangana's stuff in it. It's also going to include our new co-host. We have a new co-host on Monday, joining Louis D'Souza and myself. One of our listeners asked for a time to be on a show, and it was such a high vibration. Amy Blackford is now part of the Monday crew. This is a woman, you got to listen to one of those episodes, Linda and Rita, because I mean, her energy is so high. First of all, she was just excited to be on the show, you know?
Yeah.
But then it just carried throughout the show. And she kept, after the show, she kept sending me emails about how 3 hours later she was still high. And a day later she was still high. It was just like the vibration.
Wasn't smoking anything.
It was just endless. It was endless.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So well, anyway, the point is Amy's bio will appear on the co-host page, because there's a little co-host page there on the app. Also, a reminder that David Strickle, the Stream of David, joins us starting this Tuesday on a regular basis every Tuesday. So if you have any questions that you want to send in to have us ask to the stream, because they're going to be taking questions, by all means, use that same link, send me an email, and we'll make sure that we include those in one of the upcoming episodes on Tuesdays. And it's going to be every Tuesday, so there's going to to be lots of opportunity to ask questions.
That's
there she is.
Awesome.
I just
showed David. There's
there
Linda. There she is.
On there.
Rita's there too.
Rita's there. Yeah, I showed Rita first.
Yep, there's Rita. Okay.
There I am.
I like that shot of you, Rita, with your arms in the air. I don't know how I got that one, but that was a good one.
That's good.
Also, we've got a few other guests coming in over the next couple of weeks. We'll be sharing more information about them, but there's some really interesting people who are reaching out to the show now and saying, we want to come onto the show. And
Awesome.
I think that's a tribute to how high the vibe has gotten here on the show. But yeah, we've got quite a few coming on in the next few weeks. So more information about that as the dates come closer. But good things happening. Really good things happening.
It's happening, Walt.
It is.
Fabulous.
I'm loving it. And I'm loving the role you guys are playing in helping to make it happen. See what you did it when you said to me, don't wait, don't put off for months that this app's going to happen.
Look at
Make
this.
it happen in days or weeks. So you played a big role in that. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
It's certainly been worth it in every
Linda,
single
we
way.
got to kick some more asses. Whose ass can we kick next?
Yeah, line them up. Line them up. Bring them in.
Mine's going to be next.
She's volunteering.
I'm volunteering for my ass to get kicked.
Well, actually, you're going to, I wouldn't call it an ass kicking, but you're going to be giving us more information about your experiment with the heart math device.
Oh, yeah. I will keep you tuned into that. There's some other things that I'm also looking into. So there'll be great things to talk about on here to share with people, just to share, that because you never know what someone will connect to.
That's true. And it's also the fact that you are doing it yourself that makes a difference, I think.
Yeah.
That, with Dan's program that we're putting onto the app and the next version, I'm realizing that in order for me to, now he's going to have his guy write his stuff, but to describe each of the different parts, there's 9 parts to this particular audio series. But I'm realizing I need to go through and I need to listen to it and experience it so I can put my stuff in there too.
Right.
Because it makes it more interesting and more and easier for a listener to decide, yeah, I want to listen to this if they're actually reading stuff that's meaningful to someone who experienced it.
Yeah.
So once again, that personal experience thing makes a big difference. So I'm really appreciative of the fact that you're doing the heart math and you're trying these other things that you're going to share with us, because
Absolutely.
that kind of first person recommendation is huge.
Huge. Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So, all right, ladies. Well, this has been great. Despite the power outage, we got through that okay. But I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And thank you very much for all your contributions today. Thank you to live streamers. Jeffrey, Jeffrey did say he was going to check out the heart math, by the way. I wanted to pass that along. And then we went offline with the power outage. But that's when I was going to tell you about it. But Jeffrey was going to try that out. So thank you, Jeffrey. And especially want to thank all of our listeners because, and our listenership is growing. It's continuing to grow. It's getting very loyal. So I want to thank all of you who have continued to follow us on the journey. And I hope you continue to follow us because this is going to get even more exciting than has already become. So thank you very much. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.
Cue music. Cue music. I don't hear it. I don't know if it's playing, but I'm not. Are you hearing it, Rita?
No.
We'll be the music. We'll just like do a little dance.
Make a little love. Oh, what happened?
He started a sharing of a screen.
Oh.
Well, it's having technical difficulties, everyone. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
I hit the wrong thing.
That's funny.
Now can I return it? I'm not sure if I can. Okay.
Right, that's a nice shot. I'd like to be there doing that.
Oh, I got Linda. Oh, there we are.
I tried to do the screen share so you guys could hear it.